Hello everyone, welcome to the Jargus Ranger Review. This time we'll be looking at the 5th episode of Power Rangers Ninja Steel, Drive to Survive. Now this one was a bit of a more okay episode, but I think I enjoyed it a little more than last week's. So basically this is about Calvin, or Yellow Ranger. Now, we have a new monster called Tangleweb, which is a spider with some giant canister with what looks like a fan attached to him. Especially on the backside. It's pretty big and heavy. But before he attacks the Rangers, first it sneaks into the school as a regular spider, and of course, it's Monty and Victor that get hit by it. And by hit, I just mean they get wrapped up in its web, and they can't get out at all. And these two fools just ate a whole can of beans together, because they would just want to make a fart smell so bad they can get out of class. Apparently they got the inspiration from Season 1 Bulk and Skull. Seriously, that's the level of the crap they're doing now. But on to the main point of the episode, which is Calvin. He can't drive. I mean, he's good at fixing up cars and making them, but he can't drive, because he got into a crash when he was younger, and so he's got a bit of a phobia of it. Hey, don't feel bad, kid. I don't drive and I'm older than you. Or at least your character. I have no idea how old your actor is supposed to be. That's a shame too, because he invents a new motorcycle. But he can't use it. I mean, he tries using a smaller one, but he ends up hitting a trash can. So he's upset and he goes to change his clothes. And that's when Tangleweb attacks our Rangers. All four of them just get sucked into a vortex he makes, and so they get trapped, and Webb comes and cleans them immediately, so they can't move and none of their weapons are breaking from within. So they're pretty much incapacitated, though they are not demorphed at all. And Calvin just comes out right at the end of it. Fortunately, Tangleweb is full, so he runs off. Not to devour the Rangers or anything, or to take their stars, or wait till they run out of energy from being there for too long. Nope, just for his stomach to settle down so he can have his fill-in again. So he goes and talks to Mick and Redbot, and then, to his surprise, in the ninja prism he sees his motorcycle inside of it. And Mick explains that when you throw a star into it from the ninja steel, it grants it new powers, it transforms it, and that it believes in him. And the only one who doesn't believe in himself as far as driving goes is Calvin. So he tosses it in there and it creates a yellow ninja star. We don't know what it does yet. We're about to find out, because he goes to fight him again unmorphed when Tangleweb comes back. And basically his plan is, when the vortex comes, he just leaps right into it. I mean, and the web's coming within to tie him up, but he slashes him aside. And first thing he does after that, after seeing that Kaylee's okay, is that he frees the motorcycle he made. Because yeah, that got wrapped up too. And when he puts a new star on it, it becomes, the power cycle. Alright, I forget what they called it. No, they call it the Megamorph cycle. Anyway, he gets on that, and he morphs, and then he just drives it right out. And that also frees the other Rangers from within him. But they still have to deal with the possibility they can do it again. Fortunately, Sarah fixes that and uses the water star to basically just make a big mist around him. And the Rangers just attack from one side and then blindside him from the other, weaving in and out of the mist where he can't see them. Which is actually a pretty clever trick. And for the first time they combine all their powers from their weapons. Or if they did it before, I didn't quite notice. And that destroys them. But the audience is in a pretty good mood because he came really close to victory. So as a reward, they're going to gigantify him. And lo and behold, the web works on the Zords as well. They can't move. However, Mick and Redbot see an image of an elephant inside the prism. So when they throw a star in it, then toss it to the sky, it immediately flies over to Brody, who's however many miles away, and allows him to summon a new Zord, the Rumble Tusk, which is a green elephant, and its trunk can absorb attacks, suck it in, So it sucked in all the webbing, and then it has a gust remover that can spit it back at him. And that pretty much screwed him over. So then they combined the Zords with the new Rebel Tusk heads, the centerpiece, and it has 2 axes. Actually, before that, it actually has a battle mode, which kind of reminds me of a Digimon, most especially Mega Gorgomon. The way it has green and has the cannons on top, it's blasting them. It looks pretty cool. Yeah, the Megazord, like I just said, has twin axes that it can fight with. And for the finishing move, it actually throws them at him and it destroys Tango Web for good this time. So that's fun and nice. Now for the aftermath, I'm assuming it's at least a few days later, because I doubt it'll be the same day, because Calvin says he went in, yeah, he got his driver's license, despite being the fact that he can't drive before today. So some sort of time has to have passed since then. Or maybe he already had a learner's and just never got far with it. Anyway, that's too much real world thinking when it comes to Power Rangers. Because Mick's there and he has a briefcase that has 5 stars in it, that now they can do their morph cycles whenever they need it. So that is great to have. But then they see something unusual flying outside. And this is something very unusual for someone that's used to Power Rangers. Because Monty and Victor Vincent are still stuck inside the spider web. Unfortunately, it's inflated into a ball. Because thanks to this beans, they kept falling in and it's just making it bigger and expand. To a point where they're actually floating in the air. I have no idea if physics will work with that way. I don't want to find out either. Until they crash into a flagpole. And the screen just fades into them on a circle. That's such a bog and skull way to end an episode. But what's strange about that is, when a monster is destroyed in Power Rangers, usually every trace of it and what it's done vanishes completely. Like it never happened at all. It is very rare for that not to happen. So I don't know if it's just for this one-off gag or they plan on doing something more of it, but I like that change. Plus we got to see some ingenuity in battling that comes more from just Brody. Yeah, we had Preston do stuff, but he was just overconfident when he did it. This was actually Calvin using his head and thinking of an actual strategy to fight with. Because, like the last episode, Preston's strategy really came from Brody and his coaching. It didn't come from his own mind. This, Calvin's known to be pretty smart, because he came up with his own strategy on his own, and nothing foiled it at all. Oh, a little bit of details though. It further cemented in the idea that Calvin and Kaylee are in a relationship. And you can tell these are older than teenagers, just from when they show a close-up of how she's trying to encourage him face to face. She tells him there's nothing he can do when she's trying to raise his spirits up. So I think part of that, trying to save her, gave him some extra courage to, fight a monster unmorphed at first. So to me, that shows a little more depth than Shelby and Tyler's relationship towards the end of Dino Charge. And hopefully we see them develop further. Something we don't see too often in Power Rangers, at least not for many, many years, is really a relation between characters that gets developed and clearly defined on more than the surface level. I mean, Shelby and Tyler's did develop, but it was really at a superficial level for the most part, even at the end of the season. So I'm hoping that Ninja Steel really ups that. But overall, this was a really good episode. I felt like it dragged at points, but still, it's very enjoyable. And it shows what our Rangers are capable of, as well as more info of how the prism works and how to get the new powers. So that's going to be interesting. And the fact that they can have new Zords made, like, almost on the fly, it looked like. So far, Ninja Steel is doing pretty well. Hey, I'm Jargus Ranger. Why don't you leave a like and comment below what you thought of this episode? I'd like to hear it. If you thought it was a little worse or could have been better, let me know. We can talk about it. Anyway, I'll see you for the next episode. Until then, let the power protect you.